Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into yet another side quest. And I joke with that. I used to play games, and it was always you'd be on you'd be focused on one thing, and you would take all these little side quests, and you'd forget like the road that you were on to go straight. I don't know if anybody gamed or not, but that's where I get that from. And I know I just did something on posters. First of all, I was focused on certain chapters and eras of my scrapbook, which I'm still working on. And then I did some artwork and stuff, which I'm still working on. And then I did the posters, which I'm not sure how much I'll work on that. I need some help with that one. And then, yeah, just miscellaneous other stuff. And while we're on the topic of that, I have been getting ready for a vendor thing that I do once a year called Thriftapalooza. And that happens in Oregon. And it's kind of like a big flea market, expo, antique, just everything, kind of, all sorts of stuff. So I've kind of sort of cleared some of my table off. Nobody's more surprised than I am. But if you were to look over this way, you would see a gigantic dumpster fire of stuff that's prepped and ready to be taken to the show. So it's bad news. And in doing that, my whole point of this video is that I found some other stuff on the shelf over there, shocking, that was relatable and part of my Stevie collection, but did not make it into the videos I did on records or on magazines or tour books or things like that. So before I forgot them again, because they were sitting there the whole time I did those videos, I thought I would pull them out and show them to you. So this magazine I thought I'd gotten pretty recently. I actually started the video and had to restart it. And I looked down and the damn thing is from 2016. So it's 10 years old now. So yeah, it was on the shelf and it is a great magazine. Some of the stuff I'm going to keep, some of the stuff I was thinking of tearing up. This was one I was thinking about tearing the pictures out in the article, but I'm a big record fanatic, if you hadn't guessed it, and this is just a small shot of everything that I have. Not just my Fleetwood Mac, but everything else. So this is just really kind of resourceful and interesting. Has some other information besides their opinion of the 100 greatest albums. And just so you know, their opinion of the greatest selling album of all time is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. 2 is Bruce Springsteen. Not a fan, I apologize. And 3 is Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Now, I love Simon and Garfunkel, but that's a first for me. I've not seen them so high up in the charts. And if you can believe it, this magazine does not hold rumors, if you can believe it. So that's kind of a refreshing, though, because we always see rumors. I bought this magazine. I just figured I'm going to open it up and there's going to be rumors, probably in the top 10, possibly top 20. No, nowhere near. Tapestry by Carole King, I think that was number 5, which that also surprised me. Number 4. Yeah, just some interesting picks. But again, it was kind of refreshing. But what was in here, again, related to Fleetwood Mac, at number 86, a little far back if you ask me, but Tusk was, that's what they chose to put in this list. And it says, at number 86, Fleetwood Mac's follow-up to the best-selling Rumors 2 years before was something a little different, costing a cool $1 million to produce a phenomenal amount to produce a record then. Have you ever seen the video for the title track, filmed with the USC marching band, who actually played on the record? The video is filmed in Dodger Stadium and leaves us wondering how Stevie Nicks could learn to twirl a baton like that, and why there's only a cardboard cutout of John McVie. And what the heck is this song all about? One theory is that the song is slang for the male organ, sex organ. You're going to listen to that again, aren't you? No. Been there, done that. But, people who are novice fans, may not know that. And it came with this really great picture. This is just a great photo. And again, something refreshing to add. It's definitely the Rumors era, but I think so anyway. But just, something that's Tusk and then a different picture. We're so accustomed to seeing the same pictures. So I don't know. I may keep this one intact because, if I cut it out, you're not going to get it quite the same like that. And again, it's kind of refreshing. There's some stuff about vinyl, how to price it, stuff I know. There's a big thing about an entry in here on Sinead O'Connor, and I was a really big fan of hers, still am. Not that anybody cares, but that was just a really nice thing. So yeah, that was just kind of a cool thing, but it had that entry and I thought it was pertinent to the collection. When I did the video on my books, this was a book that I had forgotten all about that I had. And this is called, what is it? Photo Pass. And it was a gentleman, first of all, it's opened by Joel Selvin. And if you've seen many of my videos, you'll see that he was a concert and music reviewer for the San Francisco Chronicle. I don't remember when that ended. I don't even know if he's still with us or not, but I was real hit and miss on liking him. He would say some pretty cruel things about Stevie and Fleetwood Mac, but yeah, so it has a forward by him and then a text by Joel Selvin and an introduction by Sammy Hagar. But the gentleman who took all these pictures that are in the book was a really big rock and roll fan, and I actually rereading it because I'd forgotten I had this book. The gentleman's name was Randy Bachman, and it seems to me like I have a picture of he and Stevie together, or he and Christine McVie, something like that. But he's most notable, like that is a pretty common photo that we've seen, and that's on the back cover of this book. But I might give this to a friend of mine because the only other entry in this, and copying it, it's really blurry when you get it up front, but is this little picture of Stevie, which is really nice, and Mick Fleetwood there. But it's hard to tell, but when you get up closer or when you take a picture of it, it's super grainy. And I could cut it out, but I hate cutting up books. So I just might leave this as it is. And I have a friend who's really into this stuff. And it's so full of the 80s. I mean, just everybody who's anybody. And lots of local bands. Y&T was a big band in the Bay Area. And my friend Dawn is a really big fan of theirs. And actually Y&T and some other people got together and put on like a charity concert for this gentleman when he passed away. So there's just really a kind of Bay Area history. It's definitely music history. So it's really a cool little book. But this should have gone with my Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks books just for the photography and, Bay Area stuff like that. So that was another thing. Pardon me. And then I had a catalog from 2004 from Gotta Have Rock and Roll. Now, we've kind of talked about Gotta Have Rock and Roll, love-hate relationship with them. But they usually send out flyers anymore. But for a long period of time, and possibly still, though I haven't seen one in quite some time, they have really big, thick catalogs of their memorabilia. I'm so sorry. And this one from 2004 had a ton of Elvis Presley stuff, a ton of Beatles stuff, some Elton John, but they really had a lot of Elvis, and somebody must have gotten, a hell of a collection. And they had one page devoted to Fleetwood Mac, and I'll be bringing this up again and continuing the art, but I just wanted to show it here first. I'm going to put something behind it so it's not see-through. But this was an auction they had. Boy, if I could have gotten something, that is artwork by Lindsay. And it's much, much different from the artwork I've seen of Lindsay's. Plus, there's handwritten lyrics too. Let's see, nice lot of 4 items from the pen of Lindsay Buckingham. The reverse side of a Kahala, I think is how you say it, Hilton Hotel stationery sheet has a rendered drawing of a scholarly man with a beard, 5x7. Small 3x3 slip of paper has a cubistic rendering of a cartoonish man. Okay, both are in ballpoint pen. Number 3, one slip of paper, handwritten lyrics. The last time I saw her, she didn't have anything to say. Time was a funny way of turning things around. Doesn't anything last? And on a second slip of paper, the song seems to continue. I'm going down to the Blue Ridge Mountains in the middle of a peaceful scene. I hate to say it, but I can't tell you if I know those lyrics. I'm ashamed. My card should be revoked or just put on suspension for a short amount of time. I'm sure they are. But yeah, and the minimum bid on this one, 2004, what a great year, $100. $100 was the minimum bid for this. I mean, who's to say it didn't end at $1,000, but even $1,000 today, $1,000 seems like $100 in 2004. Does that make sense? $100 used to seem like a lot of money, and certainly when I was a kid. And I mean, but today it seems to me like $100 bill is like a 20. It just doesn't. Anyway. That's just me being old. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if I want to be really old, we talk gas prices, and let's just not, because they have just skyrocketed here. But so sorry. Whew. One of the other things is a certified. I've never been into these. I don't really know why anybody would want these. No disrespect to anybody who does, but they are the Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks Belladonna Platinum Award. The RIAA gave Stevie Nicks the strip plate award on behalf of Modern Records. The silver frame plated disc is for the LP Belladonna, certified 10/7/81, later certified triple platinum on 10/30/84, minimum bid $300. And the reason I say that about it is because they give so many to executives and family and friends and label to label or whatever like that to hang up. It's such a flex kind of, to have something like this that I've never believed it's, could have been Christine's, could have been, unless it came from their home or something like in that Christie's auction books that I have. If it was something that Stevie did have and it was signed by her or something like that, I could definitely understand the appeal. But just the records, I got plenty of records. I don't need one that's, way more expensive that I can't play and, is certified something. So, I know it's certified, it's certified, if that makes sense. So, I mean, they're really cool, but just nothing I'd spend money on. The next thing I'm going to go down on the list here is this beautiful print, and I believe that is a Sulamith print. It's not Stevie's artwork, but Stevie Nicks' handwritten letter, 1982, written prior to the release of the Max Mirage album. Nick's spiritual side is on display in this letter dated 4/10/82. An excerpt: "Today was the garden party, and I was invited to be with my Lord again. Being with him again was all that I needed, and with all his grace, I was transformed again. I love you, Lord. I love you completely, and today was one more part of forever." Black ink on artist board, mounted and matted to a color portrait of Stevie revealed on reverse. Matted to a color portrait of Stevie revealed on reverse. Okay. A piece of double-sided tape that can easily be removed is affixed to the middle of the letter. I think that they think, dumbasses. I'm just going to go on a rant. I can't help it. Part of my love-hate with this place, and now I have a closer tie to it, which I will not divulge, but people don't do their homework. You know, you get out and you get stuff for, you know, your own stuff, and you put it on eBay, and, you know, and just from being a fan, you know, I'm nobody, you know, I'm no certified anything like that, but being a fan, and people will come back at you with your stuff is fake, or your stuff is, what's the provenance of it, and yada, yada, yada. But here, these people are big certified dealers and sellers, and, you know, they jack up the value to nobody's business, and then they feel that that's a photo of Stevie Nicks. It could be an error. I should be nicer about it, but it just, that's, you know, my thing. And then several of these sites have fraudulent autographs. I'm not going to say whether it's this one or not, and they sell them for the same. And, you know, several times you'll see like 10 things they might have signed by any artist, not just Stevie and Fleetwood Mac, and 3 things will be legit, and, you know, the other 7 are not, and they're still selling them for the same amount. But anyway, I guess that's what they think that is, and I understand, but that's definitely a Sulamith Wolfing painting. And I have to tell you that handwriting, I mean, I don't know. It's very similar, but I mean, I don't know. I do have some things written from Stevie as a letter, and I do understand that her handwriting is slightly different in a letter form than she is just drawing or writing, or certainly her how she cursives on, you know, just a regular print, or just small words, you know, small sentiments or something like that, with love, Stevie Nicks, or, you know, blame it on my wild heart or something like that. But no, I'm not saying that this isn't hers. It's just, it sure looks different to me. It looks a little bit different than the standard Stevie Nicks handwriting that we see. But again, it's a letter format. It sounds like it's written as a letter, not so much a journal entry, and that does look different. So anyway, the next thing up is a signed tambourine. Again, let's talk about 2004, shall we? Because here's a signed tambourine. It is a white, it appears to be, Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks tambourine, modern plastic molded, staged used tambourine, signed, as always, much love, Stevie Nicks. Excellent, comes with LOA. Minimum bid, $300. Do you know what these things start at now? We have a certain website and 2 people to thank for that. But again, I will not go off on that tangent today. I'm spicy today, aren't I? The next thing is this little letter. Now, see, this one looks to me like Christine's writing, to be honest with you, but that's just me. Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks set list. This is a small 4x5 by 5x5 sheet of Marriott Hotel stationery that Stevie Nicks used as a list, or at least organizing her thoughts on that night's set list. Rihanna, Landslide, Go Your Own Way, and others are jotted down, judging by the list. No songs are newer than 1978, which helps us date this wonderful piece of Fleetwood Mac history. Yeah, this really looks like Christine's writing to me. And again, I'm no expert, but yeah. But here we have it. Minimum bid on that one was $200. Now, I would love to know how these ended, but I guarantee you that they're not the prices that we would have gotten for them today. Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks collection of 4. Now, this one I do know for a fact has made the rounds. This one, again, is another questionable thing, because this little part right here, I know somebody who had this and one of these nails, and the signature here on this little bag here was a signature that was very similar to the ones that would come on the Stevie Nicks, you know, signed things when he wrote to the fan club, or when he wrote to Jenny Kimono, and those things were signed. And again, a couple people whose names will remain unknown, which I'm sure people know who I'm talking about, said those were all signed by Ginny, and in fact, they were all fraudulent Stevie Nicks autographs. And that's what this one looks like to me. This one looks like one of those ones that they said was fraudulent. I have to say that those autographs from Ginny Kimono that were sent, from her and usually stamped on the back do have a certain sharpness to them, a little bit different. And I know I've talked about this, so I won't go on too much on it and bore you guys, but there's kind of a tone to them. But that's also Stevie Nicks when she sits down and she signs a whole bunch of stuff that is then sent out. Sometimes she'll put somebody's name, but a lot of stuff that was received by people was just signed Stevie Nicks. And so when she slowly goes and signs stuff or takes her leisure and signs a myriad of pictures, her signature, just like yours and mine, is going to look a lot different than if she has like 500 things to sign at one time that have to be out by a certain point, and they're going to start, real sharp, and then they're going to get worse and worse and worse, just faster, going faster. But anyway, so this one started out at $300, and this one says, "This is a mixed bag of personal Stevie Nicks items that will bewitch ya. For one, you get a small suede pouch signed 'Love Stevie Nicks.' Inside is a small ornate fingernail extension. It's silver with enamel designs. There's a photo of Stevie wearing this as well. There's also a laminated pass, a pair of custom beaded blue lycra gloves that were stage worn by Stevie, and a red glass heart ornament signed by her as well. So I know that pouch and that ornament have been in circulation. I know nothing about the little weird, there's like an ear, I don't know, to me it looks like one of those kind of like 70s kind of things that would go over your ear, like a necklace thing. That's not mentioned in that. But yeah, these two things, and these, again, these could be things from Silver Springs Emporium that, they picked up and they said they were worn. I have not photo checked them. I forgot all about this page in this book, but that's just me. And last but not least, there is a signed photo by John McVie, which looks very legit. And it's a 1990s signed in blue Sharpie by Stevie Nicks, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Rick Vito, Billy Burnett, 8x10, minimum bid, $200. But her signature, again, John's looks great. Mick's looks great. Mick's looks like a little weird, but Stevie's, it's really hard to tell in this picture. I wish you could see it better. But it's just, there's no way I'm going to get so dark. It doesn't look great to me. But, but John's does. So, I don't know. I've seen things where there's definitely, when I went to see Mick Fleetwood at a book signing, somebody had I think it was a Hold Me 45, and it was signed. They wanted to get signed by Mick because it's also signed by John and somebody else. It wasn't Chris or Lindsay, but it's somebody else. But they had Stevie on there too. It was fake. It was so badly faked, and I didn't say anything. They were so excited to have that there, and something like Sharon or somebody like that, or a backup singer or something like that, or a session player. But they were just so excited, but it was just an awful copy. But yeah, so again, so like I said, gotta have rock and roll. Really talk to your peers if you're somebody like that. I don't think too many of us are, because what they ask for now is just disgusting. It's really, the prices are just really, they're not for fans. They're for, bars and people that want to, put up really cool things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are people who just want a kitsch cool item, for a short period of time, but maybe don't have a lot of other stuff. Again, nothing wrong with that, but just, yeah. So that is my opinion on that. So before I go on any further, this magazine also, I might have talked about this a little bit, the night or the time when I did my Buckingham Nicks video, because I did get this magazine the same night I went to that listening party and got all that stuff. But this one came out just last year, I think October of 25, and it was so cool because it was a full article on Buckingham Nicks. Great cover to begin with, the inside picture from the gatefold, and then inside here we have, which I thought was funny, this picture that just set the internet on fire if it was legit or not. There's actually two from this night, supposedly. I guess Stevie and Lindsay sang at somebody's wedding. Some really nice pictures inside. If anybody's looking for this magazine, I want to tell you that it's pretty pretty available. It's not something that really sold out. I will tell you that my record store in Portland called Music Millennium had about 3 copies. I was just there last week, and they had about 3 copies, and they do mail order stuff. So the magazine itself was $12, which isn't terrible, and probably media shipping would probably be about 5 or 6. But you could also probably go to the Shindig website and probably get it directly. I think it is a UK magazine, so it is best if you can try and find it somewhere that's local, so you don't have to pay tariffs or whatever they're called, or But definitely worth something to have. It's cool that they talked about Triad, because remember I had that in my book video. Just a really nice thing. So I think that is it. Yeah, so that's it for the article in there. But that's, again, something when I did my magazines. I did my magazines video. I don't think I had this yet, so that's why that wasn't in there. So sorry this is going on so long. See, I need to shut the hell up. This was really cool. Again, how did I forget this? This was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where Stevie Nicks got inducted, and there's kind of a caricature of her on the cover here. And then it is just loaded. I forgot all about it. There is some talk about people who had been in there prior. There's like a list, and it shows Fleetwood Mac in here. Just no picture of it, just says, when they were. But then when it gets to the Stevie part, which I didn't bookmark it because she's all through this thing. But coming up here, this is the Stevie Nicks segment here. So this was a program that I don't think was given, or could have been given, but handed out or available for purchase if you attended the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I found it shortly thereafter. I want to say online, or definitely online, probably from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame itself, which probably you could still order. It was 2019, so that's not. I mean, that's a while ago, but still, it's nothing that certainly nothing that was made in short order. I'm sure they had lots of copies of them. So, but it's something I did see a lot on eBay, but not so much anymore. So a nice long article about her and her, work with Fleetwood Mac and as a solo artist, which is again when she's being inducted for her solo work, which is amazing. So that was the end of that article there. But then there is a bunch of dedications, which is really cool. And we'll start with this one here, which is really nice. And this was from somebody, Jamie Young, and your family at Hertz, Liechtenstein and Young LLP. Okay, sorry. And then there was, this was really nice. There you go. This was really pretty. I love the artwork behind it, and it says, with the words from a poet and a voice from a choir and a melody, nothing else mattered. Stevie Nicks. Congratulations to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2019, but it was obviously specifically a Stevie tribute. And just that artwork, it's very Florence and the Machine to me, kind of the background and the writing on there. It was just really pretty. And I think there's only one more. This one here. That might be it. That is. And then it's in the back here. It shows all the different years starting back from 1986 and 1998. They show Fleetwood Mac having been inducted. So that was pretty cool. So the last two things, and I'll make it really quick because these are really minimal, dumb things. Again, I was at a record store not too long ago, and I found this. It was $8, which was a bit much, but it's okay. Me and my record collecting. This was the Walter Egan EP, but it was from Japan. And I thought it was really cool because how much I love the way it's packaged, everything like that. The cardboard is a bit thicker. It's got some edge wear. It's seen some stuff, and it has no obi, obviously, but it has the beautiful, the nice packaging, the different record, and then the insert. I would love to read it. I know I could do it, but this is the insert with the nice picture of Stevie and Lindsay. So in my opinion, definitely worth it. I love this album. I love this album a lot. So much with Stevie on it. It's a great album. It's and his and her voices just go so well together. And Walter is just such a really nice guy. So I was just really happy to get it, and I didn't think $8 was too bad. So there's that. And then last, I don't know, does this count? This is just me, and maybe for some of you who don't know, but there's a band called Tangerine Dream, and they have been around forever, as long as I can remember, and they're notable for many, many movie scores, but one of them, of course, being Risky Business. And it has been said that the song called Love on a Real Train, Risky Business by Tangerine Dream is, this came out in 1984, was definitely an inspiration, if not taken directly, for the song Mirror Mirror. The elements of it are just extremely similar. And I think I'm doing that. I think I'm saying that right. Actually, I haven't listened to this yet. I'm dying to. I really kind of got more into the, I guess prog rock or something, a lot more electric music and stuff like that. So, and I'm trying to kind of build up my Tangerine Dream collection. So I wanted to start with this one because I knew, again, there was that little homage to Stevie, or just, it's been talked about in message boards, and something maybe you guys didn't know and would like to know and check out yourself. It's a beautiful piece of music. So definitely check it out. Love on a Real Train by Tangerine Dream, and tell me if you don't see the similarities, if you didn't know about that before. Sorry this video went on for so long, but that was just some of the stuff I've gotten recently and, again, found on my shelf, so I want to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.